Just letting you know.
Blind.
Yeah. So I mean, like the VPN, I guess. Wait. So does Tor work? You think?
I mean, after all the research we've done, I think it works.
Okay. So you're saying that if I had, okay, and the VPNs for free that I would download.
Yeah. So when you put it like that, it
sounds sketchy, right?
Sounds sketchy.
Yeah,
But no,
see?
like I've looked into it before. VPNs are just meant to be just data blockers. As simple as that. I mean, I don't know how sketchy they can actually be.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so I mean, my only concern is if I were to download a VPN for free, that would just be some kind of Trojan horse into my computer, and then all these lovely people wouldn't be able to listen to their favorite podcast.
I probably sound ignorant, but technology has gotten better. I don't think I've ever had any virus-related incidents, ever, for one.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never heard of anyone having troubles with a computer in that aspect within the past 10 years.
My computer is also my livelihood, though. My master's program, my work, my podcast.
Oh, do you tell the people about your master's program that you're looking into?
I'd rather not. not yet. Not until later. Other than I don't want to jinx it, you know. Only 6 people can get into this master's program.
Oh, okay.
So I'd rather not jinx it until I know whether or not I get in.
Maybe you alone could put it in like one of your personal exclusive contents. Maybe.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we have an intro theme song every time we enter this episode?
Yeah, I think
Return of the Mac.
Yeah, Return of the Mac be that reoccurring theme. No, I think once we get a little farther along, we can have more professional quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like it right now with the whole amateuristic feel, somewhat. I don't know. Maybe that seems unprofessional to some people, but I think that it's somewhat okay.
No, what's amateur is me cutting off some seconds of like our audio recording.
Oh, you mean at the very end where we're like, "Bye."
Yeah. I think it's funny though.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do too, but I still want to have a somewhat, like, I want to be taken seriously.
Yeah, of course.
As far as
people
the
are
podcast
taking
goes.
it seriously.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you guys let us know if you want us to do the whole cut out early.
Yeah. I mean, and I like to, since we're just rambling on right now, I like to use this random time space that we have right now to specify that we always talk ignorant, but at the end of the day, we're very sincere people with hopefully big hearts. So we never try to mean rude things to others, you know.
Oh yeah, we're just giving it like it is. Honestly,
yeah, exactly.
If you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah, no,
I'm just kidding.
We're not sexist, racist, or none of that. We're just
The good thing is that we haven't gotten any of that yet.
Yeah.
Just in case someone thinks that
we're thinking ahead. I guess.
I think the more you try to deny it, the more someone thinks that you are, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if you're just like, no, I'm not racist, and then that puts the seed in someone's head. Yeah. So got to be careful with those pre-allegations.
Of course, and this is the only time I'm going to say it.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, I know who I am, so screw it.
I mean,
I'm a pretty blunt guy.
I kind of feel like human nature in general is just racist, though. I guess that's just me being cynical, but I feel like humans by nature are racist, and that's something I learned in an anthropology class way back when, because we as humans tend to compartmentalize things in our brain, and we segregate them in order to better understand them. So we see things and we'll say like that thing's hot versus cold, or boy versus girl, blue versus yellow versus red, or a black versus white person or an Asian person, and we add stereotypes in order to better understand our world around us. Not saying that people are inherently evil racist, but then I guess you would argue.
Well, I was going to cut in and say, so like the moment we start saying that we are different because of a hair color or like a skin color, that's when we're racist.
Oh, that's not when we're. I guess I should rephrase. I think that humans are naturally prejudiced.
Yes, that yes. I agree with.
I think some can be naturally racist though, because do you think we're evil from birth, or do you think that we develop into evilness, like the evil people out there?
We've had this talk. At first, I think I concluded to being like, "Oh, okay, you beat me," because we always butt heads.
That's why we're on the podcast.
Yeah, and I'm just like, humans are good. We just learn to be bad. And it's just like, no, that's not true. And then the further along we got to it, and then I said, okay, I guess we're kind of evil. But now I think, and we may have mentioned this to each other before. Maybe our just terms of evil is different.
Oh, true. I mean,
and
that's...
that we're just born human.
We're just born human.
Yeah.
Oh, and then evil itself is just a human construct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you already know how I feel about this. I other than evil being a human construct, which I also believe in, I think that in our definition of the word, humans are born evil. Mm. And that being said, because, you don't have to teach a kid to be selfish, but you have to teach a kid to share. You have to... Most kids are rude from the get-go, and you have to kind of teach them not to be rude, which isn't always the case. I think that's my catchphrase. Mm-hmm. It's not always the case. But I do think that when it comes to just being born and not having a divisive moral code, like kind of assigned to us yet, just us being in our natural element, humans are more selfish than selfless.
Yeah. I have a story. I feel like I may have told you once, but I don't remember. This goes along your lines of like people are just naturally racist, I guess. Mm-hmm. And people tend to make an argument, especially on Reddit, like, "Oh yeah, everyone's racist." I think some stereotypical shit all the time, and it's like, no, that's just taking it a little too far. Yeah. But I remember when I was little, I saw that big bald 5-year-old kid on PBS Kids named Caillou. That show is a terrible... I want a tangent real quick. It's a Canadian show.
Okay.
If you didn't know that, yes. And apparently, I heard stories from the news about parents' kids watching that show and becoming freaking reckless beings.
Oh. Why?
Because Caillou's a whiny son of a bitch. So apparently, if your kid's well behaved, do not let them watch Caillou whatsoever. The kid complains. He takes shit from his little sister Rosie and bitches to his grandma every single day.
He's just One Punch Man in the making, man.
Yeah.
It's just the backstory.
He's slowly not giving a fuck.
Yeah, it's the backstory of how Saitama became him.
Yeah. He in that show, and maybe it's, now I think about it, it's maybe because of Caillou that made me think stupid shit. But his best friend is Clementine. I think that's what her name is, and she's black. Mm-hmm. And the first time I watched him and her together, I was around 4 or 5, and I looked at my brother. I was like, "Why are they hanging out? That's weird."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I can specifically remember myself saying that, and my brother's just like, "Don't say that." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "They're just friends." And I think that's just a kid's way of saying, "Don't be an asshole," I guess. Yeah. And just like that, And I think the question is, what if no one was there just to tell me that?
Yeah,
it's a scary thought that I could have just went down.
I guess it's important to teach your kids at an early age, because then it's
So at that point, you are right. I compartmentalize that Caillou's white, Clementine's black. And I should have just said, "Oh, they're just two best friends."
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird too, because on the inverse of that, a lot of kids, contrary to the whole popular adults, I don't see color. A lot of kids actually don't see color.
Yeah.
Really weird, because there's a lot of stories about. Have you heard the story about the black kid and the white kid? They dressed exactly like each other, and they went to kindergarten.
Aww,
yeah, and then
cute.
And they thought the teacher wouldn't be able to tell them apart. And then when she did, they're just like, "How'd you know?" But just the kids, they see past that kind of stuff. And even sharing my experiences, kind of as a black man, growing up, I did not recognize that I was black. especially because, you know, I grew up in more of a Hispanic white neighborhood.
Mhm.
And it's kind of hard. I guess that can be something that we talk about later. But it's kind of hard growing up as a black person in a culture like America that kind of says to be white is to be good. And most things that you see on in the media and in television is just like, you know, the ugly kids have curly hair, or the black kids or the black people in shows are either dying first or supporting cast. And, you know, you really want to be white. But, you know, that's besides the point, because when I was a kid, I didn't know I was black. I just knew that I had darker skin than everyone else, but I didn't think that that meant I was black. And something funny about this was my parents would try to tell me that I'm black, and I would say, I'm not black, I'm brown. And my parents are just like, no, but you're black. And I was just like, no.
You were just saying what I was thinking right now, because it just came through my mind right now that maybe just saying that you're black is kind of derogatory.
Yeah.
Because you're not black, you're brown.
Yeah. But I mean, like, who do you think labeled as black?
Yeah, exactly. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, of course. Asians aren't yellow. I'm not yellow.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm pretty brown right now.
It's I'd say it's both the predominantly white culture of the past, not today's youth, and not most of today's youth anyway, and not even most of today's adults, but the predominantly white imperialistic culture of Britain in the past, forcing their values onto other people, their religion, their skin color. And, you know, if people deviated from their skin color, then those people were labeled, like red for Native Americans, yellow for Asians, brown for Hispanics, and black for African Americans, or just Africans in general.
Yeah.
And I think the other of it is human nature, compartmentalize things. You know, they're like, how are we going to classify this group of people? And, you know, racism even exists within African culture and within Asian cultures. You know, like I know that you were telling me Vietnamese people fucking hate Koreans.
We hate basically every Asian as well. Yeah, there's no Asian that's out of our judgmental eye, honestly. I feel like all Asians are like that though, because we just have this crazy pride to just want to be the better Asian, better guys with small eyes. You know what I mean? And then we go back to I could paraphrase a quote I heard from Prince of Bel-Air. It's just, being Asian isn't what I'm trying to be, it's what I am.
Yeah, and I think
simple as that. I
think that's something else that's toxic. Just about this exists in like every single culture, but in American culture, and I know from personal experience, Black culture predominantly, that my non-Black friends, and even some of my Black relatives, but mostly it's my non-Black friends that persist with the stereotype that I have to act Black, or I'm not acting Black enough. And I know you've heard
not even from your family. I've heard it from people that aren't even Black.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's
like, do you have a better idea what the heck's your problem?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard it from our close friends too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's and it can be damaging at a young age, because I know that my Hispanic friends and my white friends, Asian friends too, they have a strong sense of culture, and I haven't had a strong sense of culture because my culture was robbed from me. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, you're looking for some sort of identity, because I don't have a culture to fall back on. So, you know, I would identify kind of as American, but when you're identifying as American, or your own belief system, or the things that people have taught you, you know, people tell you you're not acting Black enough. But like, what is it to act Black, you know? And that's where negative stereotypes come into play too, which are also dangerous, because I would be going off of mine. I was a well-educated child, and me acting educated, they would say that's not Black. So to them, being Black means to be uneducated.
Dang. And
so it's it sucks, because if the world thinks the color of your skin is supposed to dictate your education and the way that you're supposed to act, what chance in life do we have to better ourselves? Because that means a well-educated black person would be seen as trying to act white. And I've gotten that even in my adult life. So it's
crazy hypocritical, honestly.
Yeah, and it's the way that culture is built up, right?
Yeah. I'm never gonna let down a brother, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess just be willfully ignorant because of the color of your skin. But yeah, and on my end, obviously every freaking Asian knows this for some reason. You got to be a doctor at one point in your life, right? Funnily enough, I'm working to get my doctorate, so at one point I will be a doctor. But yeah, and on my side of things, it's a lot simpler. I've been driven from insults of a lot of stereotypes, as we've talked about, but at the same time, because I'm what you would call a golden minority, I have a much more simpler life than most people would come out to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and for most people that don't know the whole golden minority thing, it's actually, I think golden minority status for Asians might be digressing in the U.S. Would you say as of late?
Because of what's happening recently?
Yeah, because of all the COVID panic and the China virus.
I feel like yes and no. Look at Japan, then look at Vietnam.
Okay, so
yeah.
So just a brief. We'll have a whole episode, I guess, discussing the golden minority a little more in depth, but just a brief summary of it for the minorities in the U.S. As they were brought or migrated over, and when it came to the issue of civil rights, there have been a lot of protests and fights for different ethnicities and even groups of ethnicities, such as Hispanics and Blacks together, to gain civil rights. However, Asians, except for a few examples, have never protested their civil rights. So it has been seen that culture tends to favor them with education, placement, and even racial treatment as far as police officers go and on the street. So not to say that stuff like media misrepresentation still doesn't happen, because it does. If anything, media misrepresentation happens to Asian cultures the most. But the fact that they aren't protesting that means that they're given a better lot in life through the U.S. system, like handouts after the Vietnam War, for helping a lot of Vietnamese and Asian American citizens start businesses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those types of handouts weren't given to many Hispanic or Black,
of course,
citizens.
Yeah,
and when it seems like when other minorities protest for their rights, they get a lot of short-term victories,
mm-hmm.
but long-term the system fucks them over. And this is a topic that we can go on for hours about. That's just the brief summary of it. I didn't even delve into it. Asian people are disparaged just like all other minorities, so don't think I'm not saying that. It's just the treatment towards them is more
lax.
Lax or preferential than say Blacks or Hispanics, or I can't think of anything. Oh, Native Americans for sure. Oh, Native Americans get the shit end of the stick. Yeah. So it's tough, and it's also more than just the system. It's the culture that all ethnicities have built within them. I know that Black culture is they're kind of tough on their kids. With Black culture, a lot of the times you'll see the parents saying, "We've had things hard. The world is hard on us. So we're going to kick our kids out at the age of 18. They're going to learn the world, and they're going to see how hard it is, and it's going to give them thicker skin." Now, this isn't always the parents' fault. Sometimes the parents don't have enough money to take care of the kids after 18. Sometimes the parents say, "I don't have a lot of money for this kid. Once they turn 18, I'm kicking them out, so they can grow their own lot in life." But the thing that it's a cycle, because poverty begets poverty. Mm-hmm. If the parents are poor and they kick their kid out at 18, their kid's going to be more likely to be poor. They don't have a strong foundation.
And the root resentment.
Yeah,
So I was
exactly.
going to say, because with the harshness that they give their child, they're going to see what they had to deal with as well. And what if one day someone's going to be like, someone of not black skin just wrongs them one day, and they're just like, I guess this is the harsh world they were talking about.
Exactly.
And there you go, just another cycle of racism. And then that's how you get your own certain race fighting each other. Now, on my end, the reason why we're not so much acting upon how you say protest
Mm-hmm.
or an empowerment of our race is because in my side of culture, Asian households give a almost similar thing to you. Instead, we say, we had a hard life, we're trying our best so you can have the best life so you can give to us when we're older.
Yeah, and if all culture was like that, you know, where it would kind of suck living with your parents for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But if all culture was like that, where you provide for your family, and by family you don't mean just your wife and kids, but for your parents as well, and they give to you until you're able to provide, each generation will grow stronger.
Yeah.
Each generation will be better than the last. But
my point is, there's a con to that. At the end of the day, there's always a con to everything, because by doing that, you give us more opportunity to be self-centered, and everything that we do is only for our self-benefit.
Mhm.
Become higher and higher and higher. Protest, what's that? I'm not going to follow that. I need to get my education.
Yeah.
And that's why Asians are so usually seen as successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but would you say that even though I guess it's bad on the psyche, it's a practice that breeds success?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And if you have heard our previous episode, I try to delve away from the popular lifestyle that has become of me. And I am obviously the only musical one in my family. And I take personally to issues outside of my realm because I don't want to be selfish. It's not in my nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, we have two sides of culture that shows us what's wrong about the racial sides of things, you know?
Mhm.
And we just got to do our part.
Yeah.
And I've told you, really the best way for you to just move forward is just to further your education and just
Yeah.
be on the top of the government office or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that sucks though, because poverty begets poverty, you know.
Yeah.
If the previous generation had more money to give and would be willing to give more money, then we can help each other out of this funk, you know, and maybe things wouldn't be so unbalanced. But the system itself is written against those in poverty, and it's written against those of color in more ways than one. So the fact that culture is also bringing us down is somewhat sad, you know, and I think there's not much that we can do to change that. You know, it's the only thing that we can change it is not be like that with our kids, and then maybe our kids won't be like that with their kids, and we'll just be better from there.
Yeah. You know, it just sucks through and through. Because sometimes I think about this race issue stuff, and the ones I feel so bad about are the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Like,
they get the shit
even
on
now,
the stick.
they seriously get the shit in the stick. Like, god damn. I think big slap on the face is if I still lived in Vietnam, and there's a big statue in the middle of Saigon, and it's the statue of President Nixon. That's basically Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Yeah, and then not only that, but they're calling you immigrants
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Vietnam.
In
You're just
Vietnam.
like, what?
Go
I
back
was-
to your country.
But I was born.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. My elementary school lacked a lot of history and science lessons, so I never really learned much about any of that crap.
Hmm.
So I don't know much behind Mount Rushmore, but it just looks like a stain in our country through and through.
Yeah, you think so?
I'll say that.
Yeah, I think
For sure.
I think growing up, you're taught that imperialism and capitalism is the best. And it was a slow process for me to realize. I think what's funny is watching Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the things that helped me realize this. That it helped me realize that that things aren't as good as we were taught. You know, we were told that all these sorry, all these other countries have propaganda. All these other countries do this, do this, do this. And as the US, it's our job to correct that. It's our job to make sure that they don't go down the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing I realized when it was after school, because during school you're just like, yeah, how dare they, communism. But the first thing I realized is, why do we care if other people have different systems of government?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important to us if they practice socialism and we practice capitalism? Why are we starting wars and killing people over their system of government? And that sat with me for a little bit, and then I watched Avatar for the second time, and I was just like, wow, we really are the Fire Nation. And
we just spread our prosperity, quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If we don't agree with someone, we conquer their land, or I guess more so Britain, right? But if we conquer their land, and then we change the history books to say that we were the good guys, just like in the Fire Nation, and the ones that truly have a sense of pride in their nation, that want their nation to be better, want to do things so the rest of the world can see how good the nation is, they're seen as traitors, and they're seen as people that are crazy or uneducated, just like Zuko, and
Iroh.
And Iroh, exactly. They had a more worldly view, but within their own nation, it's just like, well, how dare you? This imperialistic style nation is the greatest nation in the world, and it's just, you shouldn't force your kids to stand up for their Pledge of Allegiance growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I stood up for their Pledge of Allegiance, didn't even question it. That's just straight up propaganda.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And, like, from time to time, oh man, I kind of had to just do it from time to time, just out of conscious, but I know that deep down inside, it's just like, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah, if you should teach kids and people to respect the nation, because it does a lot for you.
It's hard in a teaching setting, because when you're teaching, you're told that you had to let all your politics aside, aside, and it's really hard, because that some things as small as that can get you fired for some reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not even just talking about the teachers. I'm talking about the system itself.
Yeah,
we should be teaching kids that it's important for them to love or appreciate the system, because it does well for the people within it, and if it doesn't, then they should love the system for its ability to change, and they should want to change the system, and that being taken forward, why are we expected to love a system that doesn't treat us correctly? Uh-huh. There's so many people that are disparaged here in the US that
too many people.
Yeah, that they're expected to stand up and respect the flag, but we should want change. We should want, if we really do respect this nation, we should want everything to change for the better and everyone within it to be respected.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And then at the end of the day, I still think that it's all just one love. And again, as Martin Luther King would say, I'm not Martin Luther King.
you would say that?
No, I'm not Martin Luther King. No, some small injustice somewhere is injustice. Am I saying it right? Small injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere.
Yes,
something along those lines.
Yes.
Yeah, and here's a quick tidbit. One thing that I always like to tell people is it's not just about your race. It's about every race.
Yeah.
That's basically going along those lines too. Who the Vietnamese people actually look up to? Muhammad Ali.
Oh, really?
Because he avoided his draft.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was interviewed, he said, they didn't call me Negro. They didn't persecute me in any way. They didn't give me racial slurs.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to go fight in that war?
It's crazy how they over here would expect you to fight in a war.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so I've always deep down rooted respect for Muhammad Ali. Yeah. Always. After I learned that, I was just like, oh, damn, dude.
Yeah.
He's not even Viet, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You don't see me like hard rocking the Viets, with my finger.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everyone deserves love and respect.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the things that they did to the Viets during the Vietnam War is just deplorable.
Yeah.
And it's I can
Yeah,
see your
I know.
face cringing. Yeah, it's. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but the fact that they killed women and children and just didn't discriminate when it came to the killing, it's terrible, you know. And there's no reason that war should have been fought, but we're just beating an old horse or a dead horse at this point. Yeah. But it's weird. I mean, even no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
You're not gonna say.
I'm going to wait until we get a little more of a following before I say something like that.
Oh. Basically, what he just said is, I want people to like me before I say something as bullshitty as what I'm about to say.
I gotta get a little more love on my side before I go out with that, because that's gonna be the ultimate killer of the podcast.
Hey man, people love you.
Oh man, that's
Pretty sure
terrible shit.
Pretty sure you're gaining some likelihood. People liking this channel. Please tell us. Please tell us what you think about us.
Spread the love, please. But
so, I mean,
yeah, just do you think in a system like this, with all the injustices that go on, it was taught to us? Or do you think it's deeply rooted in society? Do you think that we're just naturally we're just humans?
I mean, I think the natural pecking order is just to survive, I guess, if we really want to go there.
Yeah.
And maybe in a sense, because we created a society or like a system of government, our term of surviving changed drastically within the next million years, you know, because it was at one point, I need to get food to survive, feed my family, because we're naturally social creatures, so we need people around us. And then after that, it turned into, oh, now if you want food, you just have to pay for it. And then money is now a form of survival. I need money to survive. Then it turned to, I need to get a lot of money to survive. And that's where greed boils down to. And then you have the Great Britain way back when. We don't have enough things to sell to make money to survive. I heard there's something overseas. Let's go find stuff over there. Now they're in the New World. Oh, there's people in our way to get money and materials and raw materials. Let's exterminate them. And here we are.
Yeah, but I mean, that stuff, I guess, contributes to it, but that stuff wouldn't be ingrained in the institutional mistreatment of the American people, you know, because Britain, every country has issues.
Yeah,
every country has problems. But if all of that stemmed from Britain, I think Britain does a lot better of a job treating its people right now and treating the other people of the world than America has in the past 4 years.
Boris Johnson would beg to differ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should look up the hate crime related deaths in Britain.
Oh,
but
oh dear.
But I know the hate crime related death statistics in America
are way high.
Yeah. I definitely know that, and I know that lynchings are making a comeback. You know.
God, that's a sentence I did not want to hear today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that just sounds like a really negative season premiere. It's like lynchings are making a comeback. It's like, oh man, it's going to be a terrible show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so do you think that the system? Oh, okay. So I feel like the system has a duty to teach people to be decent to each other, right? That's a given. However, do you think the people that are shitty naturally, or do you think the system has taught them to be shitty?
This may be just outside my dome of realm, honestly, because I can't really know how to answer that question.
Dome of realm.
I'm dumb, but I can say the randomest stuff. Let's bring it to a more lesser extent, because I had to always compartmentalize, right? Was Azula from The Last Airbender just always a demon child?
Well, yeah. Remember, she was born and then she killed those ducks. but other than the duck killing,
I hope people have watched The Last Airbender at this point.
those poor little turtle ducks.
Spoiler alert: she kills ducks.
We watch a lot of anime. If you don't want anime spoilers, then watch them all and then come watch our podcasts.
Damn, we're just not even going to give them warning.
I'll start doing spoiler warnings from now on, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll be like, bam, spoiler, Goku dies in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, yeah. I am lucky to have had the whole story told to me. If I just, if you had told me that right now, I would have been like, are you freaking kidding me? No, yeah, but,
I think it was also a product of her upbringing.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I think,
can you really think that though?
So, just like someone who's born autistic, I think she was just born with like a more evil mind than most. And then with her upbringing, they were teaching her imperialism and might is right, and the strong survival of the fittest, strongest wins. You eat your opponent, whatever. I don't care. And she was the perfect model for that philosophy because she embodied that philosophy. She was better at everything than most. She was born into high status, so she just became a little shit, and then. She was like, what, fucking 14 and like during the time of the series?
No, yeah.
She was like wrecking adults?
Her introduction. It's like, oh, those ties already think about killing you. I'm still trying to muddle it over. It's just like, damn, what the hell was I saying at 14? I kind of like this girl. I want to say something. But she's just talking about killing people. Like,
yeah, that's pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so I guess you could say it's a combination of both. Yeah, so, but that means that people are born evil. Or by human standards of evil. It's funny, humans set the standard of what it means to be evil, but then if they're born evil, then doesn't that mean they're setting a standard to just not give into your primal nature?
Yeah. Ah, man, now we're getting into philosophy, dude.
Yeah, I mean...
Stuff. You know what I thought about the other day? The very definition of philosophy is to answer the questions we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like... I don't know. I'm just being really ignorant about this. It's like, so if we don't know about it, then
I think I think philosophy is more than answering what we don't know. I think it's answering like personal conundrums or fallacies in the human experience. So I guess say we don't know
if
we don't know what 2 + 2 is, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So then we would, like, philosophy wouldn't be like, well, what is 2 + 2? Philosophy would be more so like the human experience, like, what does it mean to see color? Or is everything real?
Do we have a soul?
Yeah, do we have a soul? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, what is consciousness? It's just a fucking terrifying question, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about the study where they have a machine right now that can monitor your dreams as you're dreaming. And I think the machine was invented in 2012. I'm going to do a fact check after the podcast, so please don't quote me on this. But I know that the machine exists. If a machine can take what you're dreaming and translate that into electrical processes and display it on a screen, then that means our brain works similar to a computer. And so what's terrifying about this, or I guess it could be kind of peaceful about this, is we're told that when you die, you're going to go somewhere, or you're going to be reincarnated or something. And, whether I believe in something, whether you believe in something or not, if that really is the case, where our brains operate more so like a computer, what happens when you turn a computer off? It's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so... I mean, that would happen, I guess, to your brain.
Have you ever seen that, there's like several photos that an AI makes? I don't remember what the technology is, but they recreate like a room based on what a human might think a room looks like. So everything in the room looks eerily familiar.
Oh shit,
but it's scary. Not anything you're familiar with.
That's fucking scary.
Yeah, so you just see all these rooms. It's just like, I know that's a bed.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't look like a bed. It was going down that rabbit hole where I saw strangely familiar places
with eerie music.
with eerie music in the background. And we call this office the back room, which is also a very eerie copypasta. Have you heard about the back rooms?
Copypasta.
Creepypastas.
Creepypasta.
Have you heard about back rooms?
No.
It's when you play a game and you kind of clip, so like you go through a wall,
Mm-hmm.
and you
You go.
once you clip far enough, if the game is just broken, you
Mhm.
exit the map. So let's just assume you're like playing Breath of the Wild,
Mhm.
and then you fall through the floor, and then you enter this weird domain space. That's just emptiness.
No shit.
That's you entering the back room.
Mhm.
So some
like the quiet place and
kind
the
of
sunken place.
kind of like that. So some guy with a creepypasta and the mind of that said, what if a human were to clip out of existence? He would enter something called the back room.
Mhm.
And the back room, it gives me chills just thinking about it. The back room looks like, think of a really slightly moldy, just slightly empty office building with yellow fluorescent lights that are just making that slight buzzing sound.
Mhm.
And you are alone. That's the back room.
Well, I mean, with that, not to poke holes in that, but that would be like a pre-rendered area. If we're really being creepy about this, then you would fall into an area that doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be more than your mind can comprehend. It wouldn't be something that you can picture or something that you're familiar with. It would either be pitch black, pitch white, or just something totally that would just drive you insane because you can't even imagine clipping out of existence. Like, what the fuck does it mean to be outside of the universe?
Yeah.
You know, what does a different universe even look like?
Like, yeah, it's like
Or
even,
outside
even
of
to
the
a
universe.
basic extent, like you ask a blind person, do you just see black? They're just like, I don't see anything.
Exactly.
It's like you can't even comprehend that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're just like, but it's just black.
Yeah.
It's like, shut the hell up.
Well, what would it be to be robbed of your sensations? Like your sensation of touch, your sensation of like sight, smells. Like, if I know we don't smell anything when we're outside or when we're walking around, but I mean, realistically, we smell something.
Yeah.
You know,
Our brain's just giving numbing us from smelling things we're familiar with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would it be like to be completely robbed of smells, or outside of the existing universe completely? You know, where you can't hear, see, smell, or feel, or any of that, like on a level that you've been able to previously comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
It's just scary.
Just so many loss of sensations, balance. There's a lot more than that too. And the rare case that 1% of the world has, amnesia,
Oh
the
yeah.
loss or no emotive feelings to music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just sad.
what was that thing that I figured out that I was recently with seeing?
Oh, you can picture, or you can you can see the colors of like a letter or something like that.
Yeah, like
That sounded so stupid. But in a sense that
yeah, like the letter A is red, right?
it's like, okay. Like, remember when we talked about that? I was just like, I believe you. Don't get me wrong, I believe you, but you sound fucking stupid right now.
Well, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
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 I don't know why I was bringing that up. I was just
Yeah,
talking about
it's basically
senses.
it doesn't make sense because I don't know what it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Kanye West has the same thing, as he claims.
Mhm.
It's like, I can hear colors.
Well, I mean, I think that there's so much wrong with him that the things that he says are real. You know what I mean? Like he has a lot of brain chemistry all mixed up in there. So like, therefore, he probably can hear colors.
Yeah, so he thinks Harriet Tubman was not a hero.
Okay. Yeah, he's not even an evil person. I think he's just like, he just needs help mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or maybe he's secretly evil, like what you dropped on me the other day.
Oh yeah, he just met with Jared Kushner the other day too.
Oh, see.
Privately.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
See, now that's the problem of idol culture being in politics, because as soon as you elect someone that doesn't have office experience into politics, and that person treats the office like idol culture, then it seeps into everything that we do as a nation. You know, he can lie and have sexual allegations and break the law and be blatant about it and be 100% caught with it. But, you know, it's idol culture. A lot of people love him. so therefore he gets away with it, and then that kind of stuff seeps in where celebrities and other politicians start doing it, and it's just not that bad anymore.
Yeah. Well, I thought about this the other day, and what's so hard and what's so broken about that is, at its core, the words that anyone can run for president is great. At this value, it gives everyone a chance to have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, there is a small problem with that. We could have the wrong people run for office. So at what point would you say we should try to regulate that?
Okay,
or how would you regulate that?
Okay, so I mean, me, the envisionary here, I've already thought about regulation. So I think that everyone, I think some of the pre-existing rules, like you have to be 35 years old, I think those...
40.
No, 35.
Okay.
So I think those rules...
Damn. That's why Kanye could run. Okay, continue.
I think those rules are good. You have to have a little bit of life experience.
Of course.
I think one of the prerequisites to running for president should be you're holding a public office. Like any public office. Like you should be like a maybe a senator, a mayor.
A city councilman?
City council.
So something even down to the city level.
Maybe we would tweak that a little bit.
Okay.
But you should have some sort of governmental experience. It's just like hiring someone who's never even been to business school or worked a job in their life to be the CEO of your company.
Oh, okay. So just someone needs to be at least
knowledgeable. You need to have a little bit of experience or knowledge. Yeah. You can't just be a person that like Andrew Yang, like I understand the basis of his campaign, but I don't think someone who runs businesses should run for president without public office experience.
Did he have public office experience?
I don't remember, but I believe his experience was a businessman. Like his
campaign song was Return of the Mac.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. his the basis of his campaign was he was very progressive. So that was the basis right there, So I can't discredit that because I believe in the things that he was saying. However, I would prefer someone to have held public office first.
Okay.
And so I feel like that should be a prerequisite. I feel like they should be very strict with the rules that they previously set about lobbying and campaigning and the amount of money you should spend on a campaign, because the barriers to entry right now are the amount of money that you were born with, right? And I don't think money should be a barrier to entry to be president because because there are a lot of not younger people. There are a lot of people of lower income that are in visionaries or have good ideas for the country. They should get rid of the money in campaigning. It should just be what your ideals are, what your policies are, what you plan to do, how you plan to change the country.
I even heard at a baser note, just even trying to run for office or a president of the United States, for instance, that you would take a government aptitude test. What do you think about that? Would that basically?
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be the case where idol culture Kanye says, I want to run for president, and he's on the ballot for like 42 states or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the fact that he was able to get on the ballot so easily is a fucking joke, because the barriers to entry shouldn't be wealth, for one. So Kanye getting on the ballot displays two big problems. It displays the fact that his wealth allowed him to run for president, which is completely wrong. You should be able to have Joe Schmo right off the street run for president.
Yeah, exactly. With
the capital that he has.
Yeah.
And then the second is his lack of governmental experience. We should knock down the barriers of wealth, and we should put up the fact that you need to have governmental experience, or you need to know enough about the government to be able to pass laws and not say, I don't really know what I was doing. In an interview with fucking Fox News of all people, Donald Trump said that they asked him what he was going to be doing if he wins for a second term. And what he said is...
I remember this.
Yeah, more or less. He didn't say this exactly, but he was like, I've never held office before, so, the first term we kind of didn't know what we were doing, but, during the second term we'll know a lot more and we'll get a lot more done.
I heard... maybe he said that too. I heard he was just like, we're just going to continue what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he said that later on in the interview, but the fact that he said this first time around, I didn't really know what we were doing at first, is kind of scary, because someone who just has a lot of money, and obviously their interest would lie in big business and not for the common people, would just run for president and can possibly win and hold office for 4 years. And it sucks because the president needs to be for the people. You know, why are we expected to hold allegiance for a country that we were just born into when it doesn't have our best interests at heart anymore? It may have started like that, but it definitely doesn't have our best interests at heart anymore because their interest falls under big business.
Yeah. What gave a lot of people, I mean, I guess the falsehood of some hope is like, okay, at least, well, Trump's president, his advisors are smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought about a scenario where we have a completely good idealist,
Mm-hmm.
someone that knows the ways to better our country,
Okay.
never been in office, and he becomes president. I feel like he'd do okay
Mm-hmm.
because of the advisors behind him.
Yeah, you know, being president is like half the advisors that you choose. Being a president isn't just the be all end all. You know, I think when it comes to stuff like that, the president has little say because of the Senate and like the advisors that he has. Like, he has final say, but all of the other stuff is being done by the people around him.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's unfair to blame just the president, but the fact that someone like him can hold office and not have been punished for the things that he's done. You know, we need to be more strict. You know, think about a president almost got removed from office for getting a blowjob. and we already know this guy's done a lot worse. And you know, even
And might have more.
yeah, and even his opponent has like sexual allegations against him.
Yeah.
And this is what they're giving us to choose, you know? The two-party system just sucks. I'm just rambling.
No, it does suck. Because now everyone's like stickling against Joe Biden and McKella. I forgot her name.
Kamala Harris?
Yeah, that's a really hard name. The VP. The
Yeah.
VP he just announced. And everyone's like so thin and thick on just shredding them. And on like a baser note, like it's just clearly obvious what we need to do, but at the same time it's just sad because we have two parties that are just being hated on right now.
Yeah.
And this is not what we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you even said that Trump getting elected again, not that you want him to, but Trump being elected again might be better.
Yeah, just in the sense that it's I believe it was Plato. This idea comes from philosophy, or I think it might be Nietzsche. The economist philosopher Nietzsche. Do you know? No? Yes? No?
No.
Oh, I don't know for sure.
I've never heard of Nietzsche before. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about niche, like a niche audience.
Nietzsche is that how you say it? But anyway,
Is he Eastern?
I believe he was a. Let me just look it up real quick.
Oh yes.
Okay, the first time we're looking up.
Yeah,
something
no,
on
I
the
was just
podcast.
about to say that. Nothing wrong with not knowing, as long as you look it up.
Yeah.
At least you're not going on Facebook and asking friends. Got a few of those people don't know what Google is. Hey,
Okay, yeah, Frederick Nietzsche. Nietzsche, GBGB.
can I see?
He
My
has-
lord,
he has a crazy
look him
mustache.
up. Yeah, dang, that is a mustache that I would love.
Okay, now I have to wonder if he's the one that actually said this. But he says that systems of government have a breaking point. And so to speed up the process of an unjust government, the government has to be more unjust in order for the government to get better. So the more corrupt and unjust the laws are, the more it pushes people to the breaking point, and the more likely the laws will change rather than if the government were to slowly get better. So if Trump were elected for a second term, this might kick the American people into action. However, it may not be the breaking point that we're looking for, and it might just make things worse. So, I mean, I just think we're between a rock and a hard place because we've gotten here in the first place.
Yeah. Do you remember where you were when Trump got elected?
Oh yeah, I was in the car.
You were in the car. I was eating at a really run down restaurant, and the server that served me, she was just like, are you watching the elections right now? I'm just like, no, honestly, I just want to eat. It's just like, is Trump winning? I was like, I think he is. She's like, yes. She walked off. I was like, oh,
jeez.
I'm not tipping her. No, I tipped her. But I tipped her out of an obligation.
Yeah, you tipped her less than you would have.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess when it comes to these things, we can never know. But I do agree that we need a better form of system to try to get better elective presidents.
I think in general we've just grown.
We were doing well so far. I mean, like if we really,
no, we were. I just think that we've grown past capitalism. So, government is ever changing, according to the needs of its people, and I think we were at the stage that we've grown past what capitalism can provide, because capitalism is an important step in building a government. And I believe that we were growing more towards socialism, and I can give you more on this in a second. But the way that our American culture has built us up, we can never move past capitalism, because we were taught capitalism is the best, capitalism this, capitalism that, because you form systems of government, and as it changes from like a hunter-gatherer society to this, government like moves through imperialism, and it moves through industrialism, and it ever so slightly moves more towards socialism and communism, but there's never been a true communist government. Don't believe the lies that like communism doesn't work. It doesn't work because there's never been a true communist government. But with how things always come around, with the agricultural age and industrial age, and then a sales-based economy, and we're going into an automation-based economy right now. Every time a new type of economy rolls around, it always replaces the jobs in earnest with more jobs. So let's say an agricultural economy, right? They moved away from agricultural and into industrial. The industrial economy, the machines now did the work, the agricultural work. However, we needed people to fix those machines. So even though it replaced the farming jobs, it gave more jobs to people fixing the machines, or people running the machines, or all of that. And then the economy moves forward a little bit more, and you go to a sales-based economy, and it gives more jobs to salesmen, because people are losing their factory job, but you have to sell. You have to sell these cars. And then, service-based economy, same thing. Salesmen are all out, but the services still need to be run. And we're going to automation-based. And the scary thing about an automation-based economy is our jobs aren't being replaced with more jobs. We're actually losing jobs. So in a system like this, we need a socialist system in order to keep up with that. Because if we say we had a system of UBI, all the citizens would be taken...
Universal basic income.
Yes, a universal basic income. All the citizens would be taken care of in this new coming age, and more of them would pursue the arts and the betterment of society through harder to obtain jobs, because they don't have to worry about working menial jobs in order to make just like ends meet, But
let's bring this full circle.
Yeah.
Let's try to be meta for a moment. Let's just say it's definitely not going to be in our lifetime. But let's say UBI finally exists.
Mm-hmm.
When we talked about our human nature, what do you think the next problem would be?
People definitely taking advantage of the system. I think that's going to be an issue, but I think UBI itself should be set up in a way that you can't necessarily take advantage of the system, because if it's paying for the basic needs of the people, obviously you're going to have people that just vibe off of the government and don't do anything and just like relax there. Well, if they're not soaking up too many government resources, then even if they're taking advantage of the system, they'll be fine. And the people that gain capital are the people that are actually going out there working on their passions and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
It's bed and bow, not the food.
Any sponsors today?
Oh, yeah. Sponsored by...
our editor in the back.
By Honey, the Sponsored by Honey.
Oh, the saving extension on Google.
Yeah, or any charities. Donate to Black Lives Matter. Bye.